Hello everyone, this is Pranay. Okay, today I'm going to show you how we can write SQL queries. So we have two exercises this time. In that first we have DDL and DML commands, and then there's TCL commands as well. Let us see what are the exercises. Okay, in the first exercise we have DDL and DCL commands, and these are all the queries regarding that. In the second exercise we have DML and TCL commands, and these are all the queries regarding that. So before that, we have to create some tables. So let us see what tables do we have. I've already written the queries before, and so that we can go smoothly. So let me open my SQL command line. So here I've already connected to my SQL command line. I've entered my username and my password, and we are connected. So first, let me create a table which is named customer, and I'll just copy the query. Okay, here. See, in this, the syntax for creating a table is create table, table name, and all the attributes inside it with their data types. As you can see, number 10, varchar 25, varchar 25, and all that. And as well as I've added a primary key constraint to the customer ID, that it will be unique as well as a not null. I'll describe this customer table. See, you can now see the schema of the customer table. Now, let me describe all these tables. First, let me create order 1 table, then the product table, then the order line table, and the supply table. So let me create it, and as well as I'm describing them, so I can just copy all of them at once. So till now I'll copy this till supplier. Okay, and in all that I've given primary constraints, and in some of them I've given foreign key that references foreign key of the previous table's attribute. So I'll just copy them and I paste them here, and all are described properly with supply. So as you can see, yeah, the customer table is described. Create table order 1, it is created and it is described as well. Product table created, described as well. Order line table created and described as well. And with supplier, and supplier are also described. Now we had some queries. So I've already written these queries beforehand in a notepad. So let me do this. So in this case, what we're doing, we're altering the table name product and rename it to product finish to product material. In this, what we're doing is we're altering a table name product. In that, we're renaming a column product finish to product material. So just copy and paste, and it is altered. So if we describe it, you can see the change. Let me show you guys that. And now you can see it is described. Now we have more queries. So here we have table order, alter order line, and add price. So adding a extra attribute to the order line table. So let me add that. Now the table is ordered. Again, I'll describe this table order line. Okay. Now we'll move forward. Now the second query was to rename order line table to order quantity. So the syntax for that is order table, the previous table's names, and rename it to the new table name. This is the syntax. I'll just copy this and I'll check whether it will run or not. And it should run. Yeah, it's working. So table is altered. Now I can see whether it is. I'll describe order quantity in this case, not order line. Otherwise, it will not detect. So first, let me describe this order quantity. So as you can see, it was successfully renamed to order quantity, and this is now order quantity, not order line. Now we're giving a check constraint to the order table, to the table order quantity, and the constraint is, check constraint is, order quantity should be more than 10. So we're giving a constraint. So order quantity should be more than 10. So if we insert values less than 10, it will show us some error. We can see that later when we insert some values. Now we'll just get this. It is altered. Now describe it, but you can't see it. This thing. Now you can see it when we enter some values which are less than 10. So I'll describe this table for you all to see. It is described. Now I'll alter table customer and modify the customer name as not null. As in, I have to enter the customer name. It is very compulsory. Otherwise, it will not accept. So I'm putting it as a not null constraint and I'm modifying it. So the syntax for this was alter table name, modify the attribute name and the constraint. That is not null constraint. And I'll describe this, and you can see in the table as well. Okay. Now we're going to enter some values into the table. So the syntax for that is insert into customer values, and according to the attributes you given line by line you have to enter. Okay, so this is for the customer. So I'm inserting some values with this syntax. I've inserted all the values and all the, you can see one row created, one row created, one row created, which means that the data is inserted into the table. Now to view this table or to view the content of this table, I have to use a keyword called select. Star defines all from customer. So select all from customer. I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. And all the data in the customer is displayed. Now I'll insert some values in order 1 and I'll select that too. Now it is inserted, and as you can see the order 1 is displayed, order ID with order date and customer ID. Now I'll insert into product. See, the product, all the data were inserted. Can we see any errors in this? Till now there were no errors. So I think every constraint was being satisfied. Every constraint was satisfied in these cases. Now I'll try to insert some values in order quantity, and let's see is there any changes. Selected this. I've inserted some values in order. Now as you can see there are some errors. So what are these errors? Let us see that. So when I inserted the values, first thing was it was showing some check constraint error, as in the order quantity value should be more than 10. So some values were not satisfying that. That's how we got this error. Now if the inserted values were correct, the row was created. In this what happens is there is a unique constraint violated. Since it was a primary key, it was violated. Similarly, like that we have unique constraint errors and all that. To show all that, to show all the errors, I just put some random values in it. And as you can see, all the random values did not get passed and they got violated. Hence we got all these errors. But now you can see the order quantity table, how it looks. Now we'll move on and insert some values into supply. And let's see whether supply has some errors in their values. I'm selecting everything. Okay. Okay. Supply has also some errors in their insert values. So there's one unique constraint, there's one more unique constraint. If the values were correct, the row was inserted. Okay, now let me select supplier and see what was there in the supplier, and this was the data in supplier table. Now I can view the data with some conditions. Okay, so let us do that. Here the condition was select all from customer where city is New York. Okay, where in the customer table, wherever the city is New York, that all values will be selected and displayed. Let us try that. And it is there. See, you can see the city as New York, and there's only one person named John Doe, his address, his postal address, and his state. Okay, now we're gonna update a table and set the postal code as 10032 for where the customer name is Mary Smith. So let us do that. The syntax for that is update customer as in the table name, set the attribute name with some value where the customer name as the attribute name equal to the string. So let's copy that and let us try whether it does change or not. Yes, so the row is updated. Now let us see whether it has been updated or not. We have to check the postal code as 10032 for Mary Smith. So let us copy this. Let us see whether it works or not. Yeah. So I guess Mary Smith, the postal code is 10032. So it worked. So, and there was one query that how we can store this to a stable storage. So I'll commit this data so that it goes to stable storage, and it goes to stable storage, and commit is completed. Now let us see the order table, as in the order 1 table. It is displayed here. Now I'm going to insert some new values into order 1 table. It was inserted. Now I have to show it again to prove you guys that it was inserted and yeah, and it is inserted. Now I have to delete from order 1 wherever the order ID is 104. So wherever order ID is 104, those values will be deleted. So this value will be deleted, as you can see. So let us delete that. The syntax for that is delete from the table name where the order ID is equal to, or the attribute is equal to the condition. So the one row has been deleted. Now let us see the order 1 table. Now it is shown. As you can see, the 104 ID is not present in this. It means that it was deleted from the table. Okay. Now we have to select from order quantity wherever the price is more than 100. It is a condition where price is more than 100. Let us see whether it works or not. Yeah, so wherever the price was more than 100, all the data regarding that was displayed. Now let us see from order 1 where the customer ID is equal to 2. As you can see, customer ID is not a attribute from the order 1 table. Is it an attribute? It's an attribute, but it's a foreign key attribute. Whereas customer ID was there in the customer table, but it was referenced from that customer table. So let us see how it works. So you can see customer ID 2 and all the data related to all the order related to that. Now Now let us see. Okay, select from product where product description is equal to office desk or product description. In this case, we are using some logical expressions like or we can use and, or we can use other different type of logical expressions. In this case, we are using as in we want our product description. It can be office desk as well as office chair. So let us try that one out. So yeah, so office desk is shown and the product material is cherry. An office chair is used and the product material is cherry. Now, okay, now I have to show a customer name whose name is Richard Newman from the customer table. So let us search for Richard Newman using select all from customer, that is the table name from where customer name is equal to Richard Newman. Yeah, have now the data is shown of Richard Newman. Now I'm going to create a new table. Okay, I'm going to copy all the data from customer table to new table called customer 1. So let us see how it works out. Yeah, so new table is created. Now let me show all the customer 1 details as in the data of customer 1. So this is all the data of customer 1. It is same as that of customer table. Since it was copied from customer table, the data will obviously will be same. Now I'm going to truncate the table customer 1. So I'm going to delete all the values from that. So let us do that. Now if I try to select the customer 1 table, there is no rows to select or there is no data to be displayed. So now as per the query that were given, I'm going to drop the customer table. Let us do that. And the customer 1 table is dropped. Now the customer 1 table is dropped. Now we're gonna create a new user. So how we can do that? Let us see. So create user 1 and the new username identified by a user 1 password. So in this case, the username is user underscore 1 and the password is user 1 password. So I'm going to create that. And a new user is created. Okay, but I have to grant this user to create a session. So I'm granting him to create a new session. Let me do that. I'm giving him a privilege to that so that he can create a new session. Now let us see whether the user 1 can create a new session or not. So I'll just open a new command line. Okay, I'm gonna connect. As you can see, here it is there, connect. The username was user underscore 1, correct? And the password was user 1 password, and it got connected. Okay, now and it can create sessions also. Now this portion is the user one's portion. This is the system portion. And these are all the queries. And let us see all the other queries. So first thing it was asked. First thing in the queries, they asked us to select. Okay, they wanted us to grant select privilege on the customer to the user 1. That means grant privilege of select to on the customer at table to the user 1. So let us do that. And it is granted by whom? It is granted by the system. So I'm going to put this in the system. Okay, now let us see whether this user 1 can open the system or not, as in this customer table or not, or as otherwise he can view the customer table or not. So let us see that. here, so he can view the customer table. Now we will try to insert some values, okay, in the order one table. Let's see what happens in the user account, user one's account. What if we do that? So, but we have not granted the permission for insert to the user one, but let us try whether this person can insert some values into the order one table. So, see, here there is an error ORA00948. If you search for this, it means that for this user the table is not visible, so he can't actually insert some values. So we'll grant permission for that first. So we'll grant select on order one to user one, and grant to succeeding. And now I'll also give him grant to insert some values. And grant was succeeded. Now let us see what happens when he tries to see the order one table. So I'm going to write select star from system.order1. It means that the username is system and system's order one table. I'm going to select that and try to view that in user one, and it is viewed. Now try to insert some values in that. And the values are inserted. Now I'm going to revoke all on order one. So I'm going to revoke all the privileges I have given to order one as in user one on the order one table. So it is done by system because system is the main head. So revoke was succeeded. Let us try to select the ordered one table. Can we do that? Let us see that. So there is an error. It means that for user one, he can't or she can't view the order one table. The user can't view the order one table. Now I'm going to delete the tables from user. Let us see what happens. Yeah. So it can't, if it can't see the table, it can actually delete it. So this is how our queries of SQL were completed. These are all the queries that you can see. DDL and DCL commands, that is data definition language, data control language, and the next exercise was the DML and the TCL, as in the data manipulation language and the transmission control language. And hence we are completed with this exercise. I hope you all enjoyed the video and it was helpful for you. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.